Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I just put that one up and now I've got to do this one. Uh, like I said, I like to try to finish my uploads in the morning, my live streams before. I wish I could find an open slot to do it in. I don't like to barge in on David Knight or anybody else. But at any rate, so I got off of the live stream this morning and then I start checking the news. And what do I find? The Supreme Court has ruled that companies that make firearms are liable for their misuse. Now, I don't know all of the legal arguments that were going on there. I suspect it was something tied to the way they advertise their products or whatever. But these are very, very small issues. Really, what it comes down to is that they're attacking the Second Amendment, and they're doing it as surreptitiously and around the back end as they can, just like they're doing the First Amendment with calling things hate speech and all of this nonsense that's going on. Uh, we saw how Justice Roberts most likely, when he changed his vote on the Obamacare thing, uh, was probably you can get in trouble for saying these kind of things, but I gotta say it. He was compromised somehow to change like that. Blackmailed, who knows? This is the danger of having an intelligence community that spies on American people, including officials, and then uses that information to force these people to do the will of the intelligence community in the deep state. Do you see how people say I don't care if the deep state spies on me because I've got nothing to hide. That's what you think. They can twist anything and make anything into anything they want because you're allowing them to invade your space, to look upon you and to make decisions about what you're doing based not on probable cause but on their goals. Now, I'm speaking about that generally, right? I'm as guilty of it as you are. Although I don't go along with being surveilled at all, not at all. But anyway, getting back to the Supreme Court. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, it's real obvious that there is nobody in the government right now that is going to stand up for the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and certainly not anything like the First and Second Amendments that stand against the coup that's going on, that stand against the subjugation, the ongoing subjugation of the American people and their ideals of liberty. And you've got large sections of the population that are poisoned with the leftist Marxist philosophy, and they include politicians, military, educators, um, government bureaucrats, etc. This is real. This is amazing. It's biblical. I will say it's biblical, but at the same time, it's tragic. So now we have a Supreme Court that endangers the Second Amendment by this action and the principles of commerce. In other words, if they and again, I haven't looked at the exact legal uh, points that were addressed because the Supreme Court usually focuses in on just a few. Well, first of all, the law firm that went forward with this, as you know, was the one that went after Alex Jones, etc., on the Sandy Hook things. And also, I guess, the Remington Arms Company. He's explained all it. But the point is that this law firm probably addressed a very narrow thing that the court then was obliged to address just this narrow thing. But if the court is not willing to see the subversion behind these attacks on the Second Amendment and on commerce generally, then they're compromised. This I don't care how many conservative judges that Trump puts into place, whether it be the Supreme Court or the appellate courts or the district courts, it doesn't seem to matter because he won't do anything to stop the surveillance by the intelligence communities, the NSA. Not that he could anyway, but if all we can find to rule our nation are people who are afraid that they're going to be outed for seeing a prostitute 20 years ago in some bar somewhere, if that's what they're worried about, if their consciences are so seared that they can't deal with that, maybe you need somebody out there who is like a Trump, who doesn't give a damn. All right? I'm going to go see what woman I want. You know, that's a less crime. That's less of a crime than finding a decision contrary to the principles of our republic, of what we're supposed to have. And yet here we go. So this supposed conservative court, there are only 3 judges apparently, conservative judges that stood against it. The other conservative judges and all the leftists, and I'm going to call them that, of course, are going to attack the Second Amendment and our ability to conduct commerce. So now, as I understand it, and I haven't read the decision, it's probably really narrow, but it's opened the doors, just like Alex said. So now, if you run into somebody with your car, let's say you have a Chevy, sorry Chevy, you run into somebody with a Chevy, let's say Cruze, then they can come after the manufacturer, Chevrolet, for you misusing the Cruze. Now, I'm sure there's something to do with what they say in their advertisements and all that. Okay, I understand that. But the door is open now. So the very reason to have a tool like a knife or a handgun or pepper spray, now just because it's made to protect you, to take life or to at least protect yours, that if it's advertised that way, then it's responsible if it's misused. That's crazy. And our court system is corrupted beyond repair as well. All I bring to you is bad news, right? But the fact of the matter is we've got to see this for what it is. This is a calculated takedown. Whoever's running this, be it Soros, the New World Order, the Rothschilds, the devil himself, it doesn't matter. Hillary Rodham Clinton, actually that's, better watch that one. It doesn't matter. Apparently, they have their claws into all of these people, and these people who even Trump puts in are willing to bow down and surrender, not themselves, but you and me and the rest of us. Man, I can't even have an hour before something crazy occurs. So we can't trust the military anymore. Sorry, all you people at Veterans Day just yesterday. Oh, the glorious military, the glorious military. Well, yeah, look how they've been misused over the last 4 or 5 decades. And look who we've got in there at the top. And I've already explained all that I did in the live stream this morning. I'm not going to rehash that. The Supreme Court turns its back on the Bill of Rights. It now changes the meaning of the Interstate Commerce Clause, which has been going on for a long time, but now it's even worse. Evil will never prevail. What are you talking about, Sandra Odell? What do you think just happened? Are you kidding? If you're scriptural, go back and read what it says. And the beast made war with the saints and did what? Prevailed. Now, in the end, you're probably right, but what are we going to go through until then? All right, I won't take up any more of your time. I just had to bring that up because it goes along with what I said today. So they have the Supreme Court, they have the judicial, they have the legislative, they have the bureaucracies in the executive branch, and that includes the military. And nobody will stand against them. This has to turn into something really bad, or else there is no way to fix this politically, as I've said. The ballot box isn't going to matter anymore. Look, we put Kavanaugh in there, and how did Kavanaugh rule today? That's all I got for you. I'll talk to you later.